The This Is It concert tour would have given people something to walk away with. It was incredible.
That's how I feel.
This time was very special because he knew that not only would it be a great opportunity for him to share his love of music and dance with his family and children, but he knew that his fans wanted it.
He would come up with a great idea and he would go, okay, now how can we do that better?
When you're dealing with the king of pop, it needed to go to another level.
Full-scale airplanes, bulldozers, and elevators. It ended up being the biggest of anything we'd ever done.
That's how Michael thought. You know, if you're not going to do it big, don't even think about it.
This is going to be his last go-round live. So there was never any doubt it was going to be Kenny working with Michael.
He wants a down tool.
I think Michael believed that I would make things happen and that he could trust me, that at the end of the day, what we were imagining together and building together, that I would take care of my part.
It came together in record time, and it was quite a thing to behold.
Go!
It's just amazing how close we came to having what would have been the greatest show ever.
Michael was really looking forward to getting out in front of a live audience again, because he did love that. I don't think he ever intended to take this much time in between tours.
He was a single parent, raising a family, which he loved. But he was writing all along. He was creating new music, but it took him a while to come back because he wanted to come back doing something that was going to excite him. There has to be a real reason for doing it and really invest the time. There has to be something there that makes it all important. And he kept saying to me, we'll know when it's it.
We were going to tour when his last album came out, but that was right when 9/11 happened. And every major artist canceled their tours, and Michael was one of them.
About 2 years ago, we were building a new arena in London, which was in and of itself an amazing feat because there's no land there, and that was called the O2. It's the most successful arena in the history of the arena business. The goal there was to go after a handful of worldwide superstars and convince them to residence there. And Michael was at the top of the list. I mean, it's a short list. So I pitched Michael 2 years ago, and I was summarily turned down. I was told he's really not ready at this time, and I kind of just gave up and said, okay, you know, maybe Michael will never play again.
AEG felt that the right thing for Michael to do was to go out and play public again and kind of reclaim his throne as the greatest live entertainer of all time. But at the first meeting, really what we were doing was telling Michael Jackson about our company and all of the different assets that AEG had. And Michael got very excited about that. He was saying, you know, I really want to work with these guys.
Then early September of '08, I got a call from the gentleman who I worked for, and he said Michael was actually ready to come back to work and he had asked for me. So I quickly went and met with Michael at the Bel Air Hotel, and it was really then that looking him straight in the eye, I actually realized this was not a wild goose chase, that he really was ready to go back on stage. I asked him, Mike, why now? And he said something very kind of a peek into his soul. He said, you know, my kids are old enough now to appreciate what I do, and I'm still young enough to do it. And I think that motivated him even more than the money.
I could hear it in his voice. And he said to me, this is it. And he said that a couple of times. And I said to him, you should call it that. And a few weeks later, he was doing a press conference, and I saw that.
Michael Jackson's here. Go straight on stage. It will be a 3-minute video and a bit of talk from German, so that's enough time to ring the death.
When we did the press conference in London, it was the biggest press conference to announce a live entertainment project I've ever seen. He was so nervous and really concerned as to what he was embarking on and how people would react to him after so many years. And as he heard the roar of the crowd and started walking up the steps of that stage, he became Michael Jackson again when he walked and took that microphone at the press conference. They were telling him that they still loved him. And I think that was really, really important to him. It underscored the point that he's just a human being.
This is it. I mean, this is really it. This is the final curtain call. I love you so much. Really. From the bottom of my heart. This is it, and see you in July.
In the middle of March, we put the shows on sale. We had 2 days of pre-sales. We had the fans register on michaeljacksonlive.com. 8 o'clock in the morning when we started, it just exploded. Then they went as fast as we could sell them. I guess it was an hour maybe before all those tickets were gone.
This was at a stratospheric level. This was at a level that we had never seen before.
We sold 800,000 tickets in the United Kingdom. No one's ever done that in an arena. So we still have the whole rest of the world, you know, hungry and waiting.
When the shows actually sold out, there were still 264,000 people in the queue waiting to buy tickets, and that's enough to sell out easily another 50 shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson has left the building. Well done, everyone. Well done.
I said, great, Mike, congratulations. We need to add some shows. He said, okay, I have 2 conditions. He said, one, I want a house in the country so that the kids and I are not trapped in a hotel suite. I said, fine. I said, what's the other condition? He said that when I do the 50th show, the Guinness Book of World Records are there to memorialize it. And I said, that's it? He said, done. I said, we got a deal.
There have been people that have told me that he could have sold out 200 shows, that there was just, you know, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of folks out there that wanted to see him in concert. Michael wanted to do more than 50 shows. Michael was hoping to travel the world.
So that you push it to its limit. Yeah.
This was going to be his comeback to the live stage after 13 years. It was going to be bigger, better, and more amazing than anything that had ever been done before.
Stand by and dry out chest.
He felt that Kenny would help him really execute his vision in a way no one else could because he understands him so well. And that was the start of the creative process.
And those are the toasters, and they're actually in the stage now, you can see.
Those guys worked on Dangerous together. They worked on History together. It would never have been anyone but Kenny. It's just the way Michael was, and Kenny wanted to do it. It was preordained.
And it tilts, Michael. It goes like this.
Yeah, I want to transform at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Michael really believed that I had a real understanding of an appreciation for entertainment and where he was coming from as an entertainer, the value of the audience, and that he could trust me. And Michael said to me, let's put together a group of the greatest artists working on the planet, and then let's do everything we can to inspire them to go to places that they've never been before. And so I set out to invite people that I admired in lighting, production design, choreography, music, and Michael met everybody. And Michael would say, now it's time for us to take an adventure together and go to new places.
Plus the depth of it is very exciting. I mean, I haven't seen that before, this kind of layering going down. What about your pods? When are you planning for that?
Well, 2 things. One is to have them high up above the mother grid.
This Is It was Kenny and Michael's dream project, and they called to see if I was available, and I was in Morocco at the time, and I said I'll be back on the next plane.
It was great to do it again and do it on such a large scale and have all of the sort of top professionals in the industry, you know, available to us.
Okay, I would feel a little bit too of Heal the World.
Yeah.
A little bit of Heal the World.
We'll weave that in there, in that tapestry.
Michael is such a perfectionist that he wants people that act that way and carry themselves that way. And on his level, you have to be that, or you don't be there.
Hello, Michael. How you doing, bud? Good.
You know, he expects you to be at your best. He says you're here because you're the best. I expect you to be at your best at all times. And then he would go on to say, now the difference is that I challenge myself the same way.
There. Now come this way.
for the first time in my life in a long time, I would love to get up and say, I'm going to work, you know. And people walk by and say, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm with MJ. I'm still looking at him trying to see, what can I learn to enhance me, you know? And it was always something good.
Well, what was unique about him is the fact that he worked so hard. And he wasn't afraid to get out of the box, as they say today. He wasn't afraid to chase something, to try something, to do something that other people might think was impossible.
Michael Jackson was unique among artists I've worked with in that he was so unashamedly bold. He just wanted to break every barrier and every boundary and do everything new. And other artists, you know, want to do like what Michael Jackson did.
Michael liked to do things big. He would often come up with ideas and we would say, well, Michael, nobody's ever done that and it's gonna cost this much and I don't know if we can do that. And he would go, oh, that's why we gotta do it.
He had this artistic vision in his head and he just was relentless in getting to that vision. But the challenge is to give him what he wanted but still make it somehow work in a business sense.
Crazy, crazy.
The creative process, the actual beginnings of it, really were dictated by Michael. I mean, he's a genius. Money really didn't motivate him. And he was going to do whatever he had to do. Because Michael's vision knows no limit.
He used to always say to me, when the show opens, it has to be like nothing anybody's ever seen before. So that sets you in motion. That's your sort of like, you know, okay, that's where we begin.
I have an idea. Michael, I think we need scratches and white noise and a
Interference.
A bit of interference. Maybe not all the way through. Maybe in the beginning.
Yeah, it just is.
You know, just sort of like, you know, so the audience is kind of like, what's happening, you know, and you know, what is this? Is this supposed? Is this accidental? Is this on purpose? And then suddenly that thing opens up and Lightman comes, you know, out. I think we're going to be sensational.
Yeah. Kenny Ortega wanted a pre-show that would create an air of mystery in the arena, so as people were coming into the arena, they would see something about to happen on stage. So we designed a kind of cacophony of lighting equipment and chrome spheres on the stage that were sparking with energy and about to come to life as the show began. Then Michael came onto the stage floating in his suit of lights.
Michael came up with Lightman. I think Michael Cotton named him. You know, I remember him talking about, was there a way to begin with an awesome sort of video experience that then transferred to his body?
Michael would be holding the same chrome orb that the audience had previously seen with his own image reflected in it. It reminded him of Hamlet, when Hamlet was contemplating his friend. The context of him seeing himself in Hamlet, to me, just gives me chills, because that's fantastic that he knew that and understood that and felt that was part of the theatrical power that he was presenting.
He would really slowly open up each piece, take off his headgear, and then just milk it.
I'm just gonna play the moment.
We're gonna take a pool. I started a board. I said first night he would be there at least 6 minutes. And so everybody started taking bets that it would either be longer or shorter, how long he would stay there. And then he would just point to me and we'd start the show.
For This Is It, I think we approached it in the way that, you know, the audience is gonna wanna see the quintessential Michael Jackson. They're gonna wanna see the classics, but there's always an element of surprise to a Michael Jackson show.
Are you fellas on your marks? Look down, are you on your marks?
We wanted to come into the middle of the show with some great surprises, and so Smooth Criminal was one of those.
Step back and boom.
Cut. Good.
I said, what if You know, all the, you know, badass gangsters from the old Hollywood movies, you know, were chasing you. And Michael loved that. He said, that's, you know, that's totally like in the line of Smooth Criminal. And action!
Michael Jackson more or less created the music video genre. It was up to us to make these films as good as anything he had ever done, and that was really the challenge.
He sees him. It's like 1,000 feet down.
Yeah, I love it.
Smooth Criminal was incredibly challenging because he was acting on green screens, you know, and he had to do some stuff that was, you know, almost stunt-like.
And action.
Jump out that window, Michael.
The films were a setup, and what happened on stage was the payoff. In the case of Smooth Criminal, Michael Jackson was going to jump right out of that movie onto the stage.
Some of our films were interactive in that capacity where we were playing the screen. Some of them were like, you know, sizzle pieces or pieces that led us into a particular a song, offering Michael a chance to catch his breath. And some of them played as cinematic images moving behind Michael while he was on stage performing. And so the short films played many different dynamics throughout the concert. They were a big part of it. And he was very proud of the fact that I think we had the biggest 3D LED high-def screen ever.
The two sides are going to roll a little bit out of sync, so I have to do it manually, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Michael just kept stressing, we got to find the new thing. We got to find something that's spectacular. We got to find something that's never seen before. And I was working with Bugsy Howdahl, our production manager, and we had come up with 3D video, which had never been done in a concert before, and never been done with LED screens before.
Wow. I think I was a little in shock to see it really hanging in the Staples Center. It was 100 feet by 30 feet. No one had ever done a video screen like this, much less a 3D one.
What makes this technology new is that an LED screen is bright enough to cut through concert lighting and give concert audiences the full 3D experience for the first time ever.
When the 3D element came into this show, it added infinitely to the layers of technology that had to be accommodated. So everything that we planned went out the window, and we had to start anew because of the filming requirements of 3D.
I'm loving this. Anything that we can get more up in the mountain.
It wasn't just a stage show anymore. It was a show of visual illusion.
Perhaps another bolt of lightning hits it, brings it off its thing, and it floats up.
We like
our audience.
We like lightning. Didn't you get even closer to the audience?
Yeah, yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, okay.
Michael was a big fan of 3D and of classic, you know, horror film. And so, in appreciation of all of that, he thought it would be fun to do a 3D thriller.
Do not show this to anyone, or I'll have Vincent Price haunt you in your dreams.
18,000 people a night were going to put on their 3D glasses and have a three-dimensional thriller experience.
Wow.
Look at this, the sword. Chandelier into the camera. Right.
We didn't set out to do a better film than Thriller. I don't think you can do a better film than Thriller. So what we set out to do was have fun within the confines of a thriller concept. So we really took the Haunted Mansion as our starting point. And so that you start with lightning flashing, takes us up to the rafters where the guy comes down a chandelier hanging himself. Go! Then it becomes very fun and lyrical, and we have cavorting ghosts jumping about and swinging on it and doing stereo gags in our face. And one of them leads us out the window and into the graveyard proper. And the characters in that, we very much echoed from the original film. People crawling out of the grave, you know, and zombies coming toward camera. As the camera's first person pushes through and gets to the stairs, and we think we got through the last of the zombies, and we head up these stairs to freedom, only to meet a giant 10-foot black widow at the top of the stairs. And at that point, we end on a matte painting, and that was then to be the backdrop for the actual live performers that were going to be these same people that we'd just seen on stage that are now zombieing and doing their thing, and then the whole piece plays out.
And then Michael was going to come out and be revealed underneath the Black Widow. And then elements would go off the stage and into the arena and drop down out of the ceiling. So he liked to call that 4D. Michael Curry, who designed with Julie Taymor, Lion King and many other tremendous productions, worked with us and created these fantastic human-manipulated puppets that were going to fly over the audience, and these fantastic things that were dropping out of the ceiling. And then that combined with Michael and the dancers and the band and the singers and the lighting and a 3D film happening all at once was going to be our, thriller spectacular.
Michael, at one moment, just took it all in and stopped being himself for a second and became a fan and wanted to see how the fans would see it and how they would feel it. And he was very aware of what his fans would want and what they needed.
It fulfilled the request of something no one had ever done before. No one's ever put a live show with 3D in an arena. And to make that part of the Michael Jackson dream world is like, it was just fantastic. It was fantastic.
I have 8 yellow comets, 8 red comets, and 8 1 second by 35-foot silver gerb effects.
Okay.
It might as well have been Circus du Soleil there, it was just amazing.
Would you like to see them turned on, Michael? Step off for the moment, Sheena. Yeah, can you turn the fans on?
He took from his last 20 years of touring as a solo artist, and he found a way to do everything better than what he had been doing. Like, for instance, he had this cherry picker come out of the stage, and Michael would get on it. It would take him above the stage, above the band, out to the arena. So now he's like in the center of the arena, and he's still killing it. He's still on the vocal, he's still singing Beat It.
Just watching Michael's face light up when he was out in the cherry picker and the wind and the smoke, and he just looked so happy and just in his element. He'd be like going over the audience. You can just imagine what it was going to be like. There was going to be a rocket attached to my guitar.
That's cool.
And I think there was going to be a pyro that was set off on the sides as well. Been kind of scary, but effective.
Michael wanted a jacket that really burned, so we made a jacket out of Kevlar and worked with the pyro company to make it burn after he'd taken it off and thrown it on the stage.
Let it burn and the lights out. Woo! All right. Lights out. Look at how beautiful these are, Michael.
Those are our
love
shots
it.
that we licensed for a couple other things.
Love it. Love it.
And I love our little girl.
We love the idea of the little girl, Michael, almost like a little henna or something very sort of simple that doesn't take away from her innocence. Just something very, very delicate.
Finding a little moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do you like that? Yeah.
He wanted to make his comeback, and he definitely wanted to be bigger than ever. But more than that, he wanted people to walk away with something to think about and really reflect on. And that was really Michael's vision for this tour.
I respect the secrets and magic of nature. That's why it makes me so angry when I see these things that are happening. I really, truly worry, and I start crying about it. It's like a runaway train. If we don't fix it now, it's at the point of no return. This is it. This is our last chance to fix this problem that we have. That's why I write these kind of songs, and to give some sense of awareness and awakening and hope to people.
I remember we were having a conversation one day, and Michael was talking about, with real emotion, about how he was frightened that, his children and their children weren't going to have a planet that was recognizable to what we have.
Look at this
They'll
one.
be floating so much that
I
you'll want
love
to grab
her.
it.
I love the light on that.
I love this one too. Look at this. Watch, watch, watch,
That's
watch.
the one. That's the one.
Watch what she does. Look, watch. Yeah.
You got it. And the lighting's great.
You got it.
The lighting's great.
Great. Move on to the next shot. Good. I will.
Of all the films we did, probably the most important film to Michael was Earth Song because that carried his message. Michael has sort of been carrying the banner for environmental issues long before it became trendy to do so. He's been sounding the alarm that we're destroying our environment and that it's up to us to do something about it.
Is there a time?
We founded this little story together, which was just sort of following a little dance of our Earth Song child in a day, just sort of, playing with nature.
My favorite part was the butterflies, the real butterflies. It was amazing.
Finding ourselves in the precious environment of the rainforest and taking a little rest in a little patch of grass and awaking to find it all gone.
And the metaphor on that piece is that we as a human race, like the child, will fall asleep. And when we wake up, our world will be ruined. So we're very respectful of that.
I was trying to save the last plant because they were burning down the forest, and there was this last tiny plant that I had to save. And I put water on my eyes, like right here, so it looks like I'm crying for the last plant.
At the end of Earth Song, our little girl in the rainforest was going to walk right out of that screen onto the stage with Michael Jackson. And the tractor that destroyed her rainforest and devastated that landscape was also going to make an appearance on the stage. The tractor door was to open, and a human being was to get out. And it was meant to carry Michael's message that it's not the machines that are destroying the world, it's the people that are destroying the world, and it's up to us to do something about it.
I didn't want to do a happy ending. You know, it was just like not a happy ending. And I want it burning. And I want it there, lasting and burning. And I want us standing there with our arms reached out, asking for people to please, you know, grab hold and join us in the importance of doing something about this before it becomes a travesty.
Help us.